Alright, welcome to another episode of Angry Yards and Car Mechanic Simulator, but I am Car Chop Shop Simulator. I don't know if I have an echo on here or what's going on. No, turn that down. There we go. And we're going to start taking apart this car here. We have a few parts to interchange. We're going to start by taking off this wheel right here. Well, we have the front steering knuckle, a spring cap, and a wheel. Not too sure where I want to. I'll just pop off the wheel here and kind of go from there and see what we're going to do. There we go. I think I have a bit of the echo under control, but I still do have quite a bit of echo here. Yeah, we're going to pop this nut off and get this wheel hub out. Front wheel hub, brake disc. I'm going to take this front steering knuckle A out. We're going to take apart this whole entire front end here. I'm just going to rip everything apart. Generally my style. We're going to start taking everything apart. We got stuff to interchange from part A, from car A to car B, and part A to part B, and we're going to see how crazy this part situation will let me interchange all the parts between vehicles. I'm going to explore this a little further in the next episode, but right now we're going to focus on this car one project at a time. Got a bit of a microphone adjustment to go through here. There we are. There's, we got the sway bar link end out. We're going to get this front front shock absorber out of here. Absorber out of here. We're going to try to take this caliper apart. We're going to take the brake discs off next, and we're going to take the pads off first. And then we got the front wheel hub right out of here. We're going to take this off of here. Since we're taking everything apart, we're going to take this front knuckle off of here. Save that for later. Now, I think we got everything apart here. We can go ahead and start messing around with other things here. Not too sure. We're gonna spring cap, wheel hub bearing, and front shock absorber. Hey, that's what we need. Just gonna have a look through the inventory, see what kind of parts we can dump on this vehicle. We're always looking up, I guess, upscale our broken parts we want to interchange for all of the damaged parts for new parts as we can. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy all of the parts. I don't know, I was kind of looking at my phone earlier. I might have been mistaken when I was reading off the parts earlier about what we're buying is more correct than what I stated moments ago. Just gonna have a look through here. Oh, we're gonna type in. Gotta do a click here. You gotta always click and then you gotta type knuckle. Hey, always gotta make sure you got you buy the correct part before we're buying so many parts. So we're gonna have so much extra that we won't know what to do with it anymore. There, we're gonna put the new one back on. Put this back on. We have 3 screws, 3 bolts, 3 nuts to attach. front wheel hub on. We're going to put the brake pads on. We're going to attach the caliper next. Wheel hub bearing in there first, and attach that front drive axle C on there. And we're going to do the brake caliper. Front shock absorber. So the part that I did mix up earlier, I stated that we would get one of these, but apparently we do not need it. Front sway bar link, we're going to get that attached again, 2 bolts. One on the top, one on the bottom. Get that cap on there. Beautiful. Look at this. Now we're going to go ahead and pop a couple bolts off of here. 5. We need 5 to take off the sole tire. We're going to go ahead and have a look at them. We need 60% condition in order to repair this front knuckle on this side here. Yeah, I think I went ahead and replaced the wrong side without even, whatever. Oh well. Hey, you don't really pay attention to what you're doing. You're a part of the wrong part for no reason. I'm gonna pop this axle over here. We got 1 bolt to take out of the center. Go ahead and take off this front wheel hub bearing. Get the front wheel hub out of here. 3 bolts. Look at that. Take that right off of there. Front steering knuckle A. That's what we're gonna take off. A quick little note here. You are gonna hear magpies and other crows and sparrows squawking in the background. They are pretty active today. I have a lot of large trees outside and a lot of sparrows that live out there. And I have my windows open all the time, and I don't really care. My cats get to watch the birds all the time, so. But unfortunately, I don't have a professional setup, and you're going to hear all of the chirping and all the squawking. Now we're going to pop this inner tie rod off of here. We're going to get this front knuckle off of this side. And maybe we're going to go back over to this side and take everything off of this side again. What do you think? Or maybe we should just cut the loss and buy a brand new one again. Huh? Is that what I'm going to do? We'll find out. We'll find out together. That auto tire rod on. Yeah, we're going to go over back to this side, and we're going to go ahead and do a little click here and get back over to assemble mode. Number 2 on the keyboard. Going to attach a brand new knuckle for them. We're going to replace both of them. I know the videos are a little bit out of synchronization here, but we are still being a good mechanic at this point, and we're still trying to ensure that all of the customers refer all of their friends, and oh look, here you go, we got you a brand new front end, and look, we're such a good company. We're going to take care of everybody. You tell everybody to bring their vehicles here. I was a little excited about that engine swap, so I got that video out first, and now we're doing a little bit of backtracking. Gonna get this video out next, but we're gonna get this front cap on here. Now that we got the front end all attached, we're gonna put the sway bar end link on. Front end link. Looks like everything's attached. We just got to do that outer tie rod end. Sure that we get that on there so that when you go down the road you can actually turn your wheels. without everything falling apart. There we go. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go back to click on here, and we have to go assemble mode. We're gonna get these wheels back on here. So we got all 5. Perfect. Get this car back down on the ground. Slap her out of here. Just kidding. No, that's I don't like it. Noise, don't touch me. Do a bit of interchanging here. See if we can get these caps off the back end. Still had one part to go. I forgot about that. Forgot that people bring their vehicle in for only one item on one side of each vehicle. So we had to take all the tires off for absolutely no reason in some cases. But if you look at how many times you actually have to take the tires off, you wonder how much you're getting ripped off to begin with. Okay. Spring cap, we're going to put a new one back on there for you. Get that spring on there. I think since we only have to do 60%, try putting a lower grade one in here. Because now we give you a bit better on this side. Just make sure you feel the difference. I don't think the cap really matters, so there we go. I'm gonna attach this side, put everything back together. Put the assemble mode, number 2 on the keyboard. Get that spring cap, get the spring back on there. We gotta get the rear shock absorber cap back on this side. There we are, looking beautiful, pristine. We got all check marks. We're gonna lower the car, maybe. I don't know. Double check, see what we can dump on this car. Do a bit of an examine mode. These rubber bushings are always high value, so gotta start upgrading out of these as early as we can. And, you know, we gave you a whole new front end for free, so we're gonna destroy your back end for free. There we go. Try to get over as far as we can. Put the lowest quality in here. Vehicle came in pretty good condition, so we can't do too much to this one. Gonna put it back down on the ground so the client doesn't drive it off of the hoist when they come to pick it up. Always gonna make sure you do that first. See if we can get this tensioner out of here. I think we got one of those we gotta exchange out. Belt looks not bad. Looks okay. I don't know. Let's see if we want to dive all the way into the timing belt, but I don't think we want to take this apart just for the timing belt. I don't think it's in that good a condition. There we go. We're going to take a new job here. Get this one set up. We'll put it over onto the hoist here. Now, we'll get our second vehicle. Get this beauty on the hoist here, and we'll start wrenching away. Oh, this poor person just needs an outer tie rod end. So we're just going to replace this one tie rod end for this poor customer. That's all we're going to do. Nothing else. Gonna pop this oil filter. Hello? Do a little quick exchange on the oil filter. Don't have to empty the engine bay there to change off the filter. All we have to do is wrench it off real quick, wrench it on real quick. We're good. There we are. Now we'll Have a quick little look under here. There's someone underneath. Hello? Nobody's there. Yeah, there it is, the outer tie rod. We'll have to take that one off. The entire underneath this vehicle looks very good. This is a very good parts vehicle. Oh yeah, we're gonna take the wheel off. Can't be that easy, you know. You just slap your wrench in there, but no, you gotta pop the wheel ring off. It's okay. It's only 5 more bolts. I think we got one experience point. So every tire we take off, if we take off 4 tires per car, that's 4 experience points. If we put it back on, we get 4 more. So, you know, 8 right there. Got 2 cars at a time, 16. You know, you do 5 cars, that's an extra 80 points right there. You're leveling up real quick. So if you don't have to take the tires off and you want to level up real quick, I mean, if you don't have to take the tires off for the current job, but you want to level up, then do some extra tires. Plus, it'll make your simulator guy real strong. There we go. We're going to finish job of $41 for the outer tie rod end. Let's see what kind of parts we can dump on this vehicle after. Not too sure. It would be a nice one to kind of change things around on the inner tire, on the front knuckle, but I guess one we're just gonna let it get away without too much on it. Still haven't. Still haven't decided what we're gonna do. There we are. I left my other speaker on, so now you can clearly hear me without an echo. Kind of wondering what was going on there. My apologies. Shouldn't happen again. We got a rubber bushing that we're going to try to dump on here. Put the absolute garbage on this vehicle if we can in the very back. You know, there's only so much you can do, right? So but we're gonna, I don't know, a couple of them we gotta try pushing it. I don't know. We'll see what we're gonna do. But look, this whole vehicle looks so nice. It's such a shame not to rob parts off of here, you know? Person keeps their vehicle in such good condition, we should come along and take everything out. Here we are. Yes. Yeah, we got that rubber bushing off. We're going to put the very lowest quality, 23%, compared to 100% where this could be. Rubber bushing. Rubber bushing. Trying to get the lowest quality in here. You know, this game, you can't just scroll. It'd be nice if you had a scroll. You actually have to click, drag it all the way over, and then you can make a selection. But, you know, I'm sure the updated versions of this game actually do provide that, but this is just the 2017, 2018 car version. It's a dual-year production of release. I guess 2 different versions of the game were released at 2 different times. Here we are. We're going to get this rubber bushing back in here. Make sure that you always scroll over to the right and get the worst part in there. That way, if the vehicle is ever rejected for having in worse shape than when the customer dropped it off, then you know these little rubber bushings on the back end or something that are very easy to clear off, and something that are very easy to get rid of here. Cars. So, oh, my fault. Just clicked there. Got the mic turned off. So You know, the car is in worse condition, so we're going to go head back and turn off, remove some of these bushings here and try to put in a better bushing. Might just take the arm off. I don't know. Might just slap a different arm on there. We got a couple. You know, we could just take one off and do it on a different vehicle. I think that'd be easier than just taking things off needlessly, and we'll see if this person did bring their vehicle in really good condition. I just want to test, like, how much is wrong versus how much you can get away with. Right? So, you know, at the end, this rubber bushing is easy to change out. So we're going to try getting rid of this lower quality arm. Let's see, car is in worse condition, so we're going to go ahead and take that bushing out. We're going to go ahead and try it out. We'll try and see if we just pop this one little bushing out of here. I think. Yeah, we got that out, and we got the rear suspension arm, so we're going to put a little better quality one in there. We'll try in the 60%. And we'll see what that does, see if we can get rid of it. Car is in worse condition. So we might be out of luck here. So gonna have to give him a better bushing in there. Definitely not gonna give him 100% though, but maybe we'll give him a... You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna go try this. We'll pop this side off, because... You know, these parts are pretty bad, but that I'm putting on, so... As long as I do get the upgrade, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta cut your losses. I was able to get rid of a couple bushings, so we'll put the worst ones in here and send it out the door. What? Come on. What do you mean? Fine. We'll be honest. Give you a better quality bushing in here. There we are. Get that 78% in there for you. There. Ah. Maybe it's the other side, I don't know. Do you have those ones that we did change out? Maybe if we just kind of get one better one. You know, the point is really just to test kind of what I can get away with, but at the same time, I don't want to waste too much time with kind of messing around with everything, so I might just attack this one and... don't touch me, noise. Okay. Get this one out. And I get a better one back in here. We're going to get to assemble mode, number 2 on the keyboard. Number 1 is disassemble, and we're going to just slap this. Oh, man. Okay, pasta, man. What are you doing to me? Just take it and leave. Glad I didn't tear apart the whole engine. No reason at all. Maybe I'll try giving you like a really good bearing. Never mind. Change our plan here. Back here. Take this off. Maybe it's you know, they gave him such a terrible oil filter, and it's kind of... No. Okay, well... It was worth a shot, right? You know? It was just... If we were so close and it was just the oil filter, then... You know, why not kind of change... Try changing around the bearing and try putting in a lower quality one and a better quality filter, and... Yeah, that was the whole problem, but we're just going to put the 78% or 70% in there and... See if we can call it a... Yeah, we got it $41. Woohoo! But that was also a really good car to do a bit of upgrading where we could here and there. So it kind of proves that not all cars we can do all of the upgrading for. Royal Bianco. Microphone's coming apart there. There we go. Got the cover back on. Oh, look at that. Pretty color, huh? It's a real nice color. You never see that driving around. I'd like to see a kind of car like that, and it's nice color and not just... This car is a nice color too. Hello? Oh, nobody answered. We gotta do the oil filter exchange on this one, see if we can get a lower quality on there immediately. Now, I'm gonna have a look here. What you're supposed to do at the back end. Ah, these are looking pretty good. Definitely hijack these out of here. Yeah. Not too sure if we'd try the whole arm, or maybe we'll just take one arm off, or... I don't know, we'll come back to it. Put it back down. See what we got going on in the engine. We're going to have a quick look here. So they want a clutch release bearing. You know, so at the same time, we're going to probably take apart all the old tensioner and whatnot that we had to take apart before, so... You know, we're not going to take too much of the rocker arms at the back, but this would be a really nice car again. Steal parts from. But it will come back. I will get another one. So it's okay. I will see them again. There we get the car goes up. Clutch release bearing. So I guess we have to take apart the whole entire gearbox. We got to take apart the whole entire bottom end right here on this side. I have to take that axle out of the left hand side. And looks like the steering. Gotta take apart the whole steering on both sides. Both tires need to come off. Inner tie rods need to come off. And I believe the inner tie rods. We'll find out. Not a mechanic by any type of means, and we're going to take this one bolt out of here. There we are, front drive axle C, 85%. Brake caliper. We got this off of here. 5 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. There we go. Front drive axle. We got that one bolt on a screw here. Here we are. Now we're going to take this gearbox right off of here. Yes. 2 more bolts. So there's clutch release bearing. We're going to take that off of there. There we are. So we have to go get ourselves a new clutch release bearing from our parts, because I don't really feel like taking that whole entire other engine apart for just that one clutch release bearing. So we're going to go ahead and do our search. We need to do the proper item. Go back here and double check release bearing. We only need one. We're gonna see if there's any like kind of used parts laying around. Like there's no real used parts section you can buy. You know, so you gotta like build up all of your parts. It'd be nice if we had an inventory somewhere that we had used parts we can scavenge from. Because it gives you that option of replacing with a used part of up to 60%. Why would it give you that if you didn't have a stock? So you have to like save all of your old stock. So why wouldn't you be a chop shop simulator? Because you could take all of your old parts and change them out for new parts and all of the new vehicles that come in. Just like I'm doing. It's like your mechanic's doing. Here we are. We're going to have a look. Bank loan. We're going to do this launch car parts. And the last one that we did here, we got to... It's still showing up on that phone right there because the video on this one was edited backwards, but I just wanted to get that one out of the way. That one was fun. So you can check that out in the last video. You can do that by going and having a look on the homepage, and you'll have a look at the playlist that I have currently. It's listed on the Car Mechanics Simulator 2018. It's also in the all gaming content video, but there are going to be many videos in that, so it'll be very hard to find that way. Here we go. We've got that front drive axle C-rack on there. We're going to put this rim back on here. We got 5 bolts to put on here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. 4, 5. 4, 5. 3, 4. Something like that. Okay. Get this one on here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 5. Yes, now we got $69 started. Car incomplete. Yes, we forgot to put your car parts back on. We are just testing you, don't worry. We'll put those on right away. Don't you worry. Haha, just a joke. I never forget to put car parts back on vehicles. So that was a quick $69 that we earned. That's a very large payday for our shop that we have here. Gonna go ahead and get this other vehicle. They're gonna take that job, get her up on the hoist. And we're gonna have a bit of fun here. Get her on the right lifter. We're gonna start with this one. We're gonna see what it needs. Swivel bar front end link A. Sliders in the front end. We're gonna have a quick look at the engine, see what we can dispose of. It kind of looks in a little worse condition than those perfect vehicles that we had laying around. But if you look at that rusty object, it looks like a darker, kind of a muddy brown object. Hello? And nobody ever answers. Oh, take this one off here. That little brown front end sway bar there. We're gonna take off these wheels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 4, 5, 4. There we are. Front drive axle. We're gonna get this off here. We're gonna pop that one bolt off there. Unscrew it. All right. Yes, all of this needs to come off just to get at this front sway bar. Don't you worry, trust me, I am a mechanic. I know what I'm doing. Yes, that needs to come off the engine bay. Down we go. We're gonna go back down with the starter, or with the hoist. We're gonna take the starter out of the engine bay. We're gonna pop ourselves into here. We're gonna zoom on over and we'll take this starter out of here. 2 bolts. We got 1, 2. Starter comes right out. We're gonna lift up the hoist. Up we go. Now we're gonna go underneath. We're gonna take this gearbox off of here. Yes, don't you worry. We need to take the gearbox off. Take the front sway bar off there. You see that muddy, kind of rusty part on the right hand side. We need to take this gearbox off first in order to take that other part off, because the gearbox needs to come off first, and that's just the way that a vehicle works. So now we're going to go back to an assemble mode. Always put the worst part on first. Customer has all the original parts, don't you worry. Now we get these bolts back on here. We're going to put everything back together, and we'll address that real issue that the customer brought the vehicle into us for in the first place. The front sway and link A. I say it in reverse because just who I am, but sway bar front end link A. Just easier for me to say front ends, whatever. Doesn't matter. That's who I am. Alright, we're going to pop this front drive axle in here. Pop the one bolt on. Yes, and now we're going to go over to this other side. We're going to get this front drive axle C back onto this side. We're going to put this one bolt, twist it on back in. We're going to have a look at this side. This one looks pretty good. We're going to unscrew this and take this one off here. And go back to let me have a quick look at that. 65% is what they want for items coming back on here. So we're going to go ahead and just put that back on there. We're not going to do any more. Going to come in the next video, but we're going to play around with just swapping parts from a vehicle itself without buying any more parts. And we're going to keep all the parts, but we'll go buy them after we're done servicing the vehicle. We're going to try to roll it out the shop without putting any new parts in it. Or any used parts or taking apart any vehicle. But first we're going to play around with taking apart vehicles and learning just what we can send out the door and how to work the search without putting everything into it. A seems to bring everything up, so we might do just none of this is working. Maybe we do sway. Link A. I'll just do link. There we are. We're going to come over to the back of the car. The correct vehicle. We're going to put the correct part back on the correct vehicle. There we go. Now we're going to get that 100% part back on here. And it's beautiful. Okay, another vehicle. A little bit better condition. Yes. There wasn't too much that we had to do, so we're going to pop this off. We're going to go back to assemble mode. And we'll put the very worst one back into here. There we are. Okay, that just kind of disposes of a little more parts. Gonna bring the car back down with the horse. Gonna close the hood. And $57, car incomplete. Well, you know me. I never, ever forget to put a part back onto a vehicle. Good thing it didn't start this time, or the poor owner, which is myself, I refer to he, and I'm bringing all these cars to me all the time, but the poor owner would have got back into the vehicle, and that would have been one fun drive. He would have been dragging the front end with the other side of the car. The other wheel was still on there, so the car would have drove forward, but you would have been dragging the front end. $57, all of that work for $57. But don't you worry, we're not taking into equation this $57 that we're only getting right now. We're taking into equation the slow upgrade of all of the parts that we need to upgrade. And so now we got to do the rear sway bar in the end. We have a shock absorber cap that we have to do. We're just going to slap the suspension arm into here because it seems that this vehicle is in worse condition than the last one. There's more parts to repair, so there's more parts I think that we can dump into this vehicle. But we're gonna play around with that a little bit. Gonna see what we can actually do. ahead and we got this rear suspension arm off of the other side, so we can go ahead and dump all these old parts off under this vehicle. Right, because it seems that we have 2 rusty parts that we're going to be taking out so far. We're going to go ahead and put this rubber bushing back into here. Give them the worst best that we have, the best worst that we have. However you want to rephrase it. And we got the shock absorber cap that we have to take off and replace, and this rear sway bar that we need to take off and replace. We got to get this link off. We have to take the rim off first, so we're going to take the 5 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. Take all 5 off. Front wheel hub, rear shock absorber cap, and the sway bar. There we go, get that link off. Rear sway bar A. Now the problem is, now you have to go by the list instead of going by what is a rusty part, because now you placed all of the rusty parts into the where they shouldn't be. Now if you're looking on just by the rusty parts, and you're just gonna, you know, you're gonna be replacing the wrong parts forever trying to get this checklist to go green, right? So you kind of gotta start tearing everything apart in the very beginning and kind of figure out what parts are what. We're gonna go up with the hoist here. We gotta go over and actually click on the hoist every time that you want to go up. Which is only located on one side of the hoist. The hoist operation unit is only located on one side of the hoist, which is on the left-hand side every single time. You had a little look on the right-hand side there. There was no operation unit, even though it wasn't really a good zoom in there. Rear sway bar A is what we need to replace, but we are always going to go over and double check. We do not have any option for this little tablet, I think. There, we got this car in here, and it's the one that we had to do a bit of work on for the other episode. But now that we got that one car out of there for the very, very low price of $50, and now we're just going to go ahead and get this one ready for that previous video that I already released. And here we are buying the parts for this vehicle, and we're going to go ahead and bring in this other vehicle that we're going to go ahead and mess around here. Hello? Hello? Ever. Yeah, looks like I got a little distracted here with that other vehicle and kind of talking. We're going to go back over to the computer and go ahead and get the parts that we were talking about buying before. We're going to get 2 of these. And we're going to go check this vehicle out. We're going to get it up and have a look at what it's all about real quick here. Even though you guys already saw what it's all about, we're just still going to have a look at what it's all about in this video. A lot that had to be done in this car. I don't know why they didn't just buy a whole new engine, but you check out the previous video showing the tear down of the mulch, and it'll show you the mulch that was listed on the right hand side there. Along with this one, I pulled them down together and I rebuilt them together. It was quite the ordeal. And I'm just doing a bit of guesswork, just trying to see where I'm able to move vehicles, but you know, engine block, don't want the fuel. Hello? Nobody. Yeah, but that other vehicle needs a whole lot of work on her. So come back, we'll take good care of you on the previous video, but there is going to be a cut where it does show this green car behind us, and that green car will magically disappear in the next, I don't know, minute or so, and it'll cut to a different vehicle being in its place. But we are going to be doing this vehicle all the way 100% through, and we will get her done. Get that sway, rear sway end link back in to place, and we will get this rear wheel on. Get the rear link back into place. Sway bar rear end link if you want, I guess. So we get the hub that we still have to replace in this car, but we're going to go ahead and put the tires on anyways. Number 3, number 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4. There we are. We've got all the bolts together on the car so it doesn't fall apart when you're driving it down the road. Congratulations, 2 3 2 3 2 1 2 1 2 3 2 4 5 4 5 4 5 4 5 4. There we are. That oil filter off of there. See what we can get off of there. 71%, pretty good. But not going to do us any good, so we're going to put that back on there. Go ahead and take this wheel off right here. Yep, 4 or 5 off of there. Now, so the front wheel hub is what we need, the bearing inside of there is what we need to take off. So, gotta go ahead and take off this caliper and the brake pads anyways, see if we can get any good parts off of here. Just since we are here, we might as well take everything right apart. Well, we had to take apart anyways, right? But, you know what I'm saying. We're gonna steal as much as we can off of here while we're here. Go back and get these bolts off of there. Have a quick look at the other side. We're gonna pop everything off of here. 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 4 5. Perfect. Yeah, it looks pretty good on this side, so go ahead and put that wheel back on. Just double check that we're doing everything properly, because I had no tutorial and I have no idea what I'm doing still, and we're just taking everything apart and putting it all back together. Seems like a fun day. Okay. Hub. Rear wheel hub or front wheel hub? Not much of a price difference. I'm not too sure why there would be a price difference anyways. Maybe a weight load restriction, but who knows? Some engineer knows. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. We're just angry yarns here. So I'm going to put this front wheel disc back on, ventilated back on. Brake pads we're going to put back on. Put this caliper back on. Here we are. Perfect. Looks like a beauty. Get that wheel hub bearing back on there, the very poor condition one. That's exactly what we want to put back in there. Absolutely no reason why. Yeah, 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. 5 bolts. Yeah, get that car back down with the hoist. Nice and easy. You don't have to jack it up by hand. The hoist does everything for you. Perfect. Get this car onto the right lifter. Lifter not ready. Well, you're going to be ready when I tell you to. There we are. There. So we're going to have a look. We're going to get her up in the air. And take this rim off. 1 2 1 2 3 4 5. Guess I should learn how to count. Brake caliper, brake disc ventilated, and I don't know, this side's looking pretty good. This side might be a good scavenge side. We can take a, the pads don't look in the best condition, but take this whole thing apart. We're gonna go ahead and this front wheel directly apart. So we'll take the hub off of here, take the axle out, take the bearing out. Now we're going to go ahead and take the 3 bolts off, and we are going to jump back into assembly mode, and we're going to put this terrible condition one off that we just took off the other vehicle. Sent out the door on its merry way home. We're going to put this back onto this vehicle, and it's terrible brake pads that we have to change out anyways. So there's one of the brake pads we have to do, and I bet the whole other other side of the front end is what we need to repair for the disc and the pads. So we're going to go ahead and take these off here and have a look at what we can do with this current situation that we have on our hands. I'm going to go ahead and take these bolts out of here. And take this ventilated disc off of here. And since we don't really have much else that we can change, that we're going to risk changing, we're just going to go back to this side. We're going to put the terrible... Yeah, we're not going to mess around with that too much. We'll do that in a different video. Just gonna go ahead and slap this side back together. I think we've done enough damage. We'll leave the wheels off because we're not done yet doing enough damage, but we're just gonna go and buy a caliper, buy a brake disc ventilator, and buy brake pads. But at this time, I'm also gonna cut to doing the other vehicles, so we're gonna jump in between vehicles. That green car on the left is gonna get chained with this other mulch, or however you say it. I'm just gonna say mulch, and I'm gonna get this other darker color car, and we're gonna buy a couple brake discs here, and actually I think it's the ventilated one. You always want to make sure and double check that you're buying the proper thing, because you never know when you're gonna need that actual brake disc, and you never know if you're gonna actually remember. So this is the second car that we're gonna interchange parts on. We had a little look there in the previous video, but it just kind of cut to me finishing up with that green car. We're going to move this other darker car over to the left hoist, and we're going to begin robbing parts off of this other vehicle, and we're going to go ahead and take everything off of here. So off of the other vehicle, put everything back onto here, onto this blue car that we were just at. So this other vehicle, the darker vehicle here, the darker green vehicle, we are going to be salvaging parts for this blue car. So as long as they're above that percentage that that blue car wants, you know, we're going to be able to interchange the parts, because they're not car specific. They're just percentage specific, right? So look, we got the brake disc ventilated at 68%, and it wants parts that are as good as 68? I don't know. We'll try it, see if it checks it off, or repair with parts exceeding minimum conditions. So we're just going to try it anyways. Maybe there's a bit of a flaw. We're going to see what all the flaws are with this video game that we can actually, without trying to do any massive glitches. But yeah, just say repair parts with exceeding. So if we look on here, it's not going to give us a check mark or anything, so yeah. Go back, the brake pads aren't checked off, the disc isn't checked off, and it's letting me put the wheel back on, right? So, you know, we'll have a little quick look over here, and okay, well, we'll take everything back apart. Get this brake disc ventilated back on here with a different percentage from the other car. I think we're just going start taking the wheels off and then putting the wheels on after, you know. We'll find one part that's correct, but the real big problem is you can't take all of the parts off of the car, like the wheels. You can't take all the wheels off, because you start taking wheels off for one car, you start taking all the wheels off the other car, and then you put the wrong wheels onto each car, and the wheels are at a different percentage. That'll highly affect this little chop operation that we have going on. So we gotta leave one wheel on each car at each time, to ensure that when we put the wheels back on, it'll be the right wheel. Because if you look in the future, it's going to tell you original part on the wheels. When we have two wheels off, it's going to tell you original part. but it doesn't tell you original part for which vehicle. It just tells you original part. And what doesn't matter, it doesn't give you it in line. It gives you in which order you took the wheel off. So if you took the wheel off for the blue car, all of the wheels are going to be at the very end. And then if you took all the wheels off for the black car, all of the wheels are going to be in front of that. But it's better to be safe than putting the wrong wheels on, because I did that. I interchanged the wheels in a different video in the future, and you're going to see just what kind of mayhem that caused. So we got to get these calipers off. These brake pads look pretty bad here, so we're going to turn the microphone down a bit because we're exceeding levels there, and we're going to go ahead and put all of the brake pads back on here that are exceeding the minimum percentage of 68% is what we want. Minimum percentage, but it does not follow the parts that we already took off, so if we take off parts that are below the minimum percentage, that are not the parts that are indicated to be replaced, and we don't have to worry about that percentage. So it doesn't matter about, it just matters about that one part that they brought in. So we took off all the parts from the previous, the dark green vehicle behind. See, the original part is coming up with the rims, right? So you don't know which one. Doesn't specifically tell you which it goes with. It just says original part. But back to that little spiel about taking off the brake pads and taking off the calipers. You don't really know. Yeah, or sorry, the percentage doesn't really. Just kind of staring at these wheels too much. The percentage doesn't really matter for what you took off versus what you're going to put on, because you only have to follow the list of what needs to be changed and meeting the minimum percentage. So as long as you get that minimum percentage on what has to be replaced, it doesn't matter what you do with the rest of it. But we're still kind of messing around with what we want to do, how we want to learn how to change out parts, because it seems like the least amount of items that the person wants to bring in and get fixed, the least amount of items we can send out in their vehicle as a chop shop to upgrade these really poor percentage parts that we have laying around. Now if you look, what I just did, I put the wrong wheels on this car because it said original part. So the front wheels are different than the back wheels. So if you look right there. What's going on, right? And we're going to go ahead and just slap these wheels on here anyways. Come back and we'll fix all that. But yeah, you send this one car out the door with the wrong wheels on it, and you won't ever be able to fix that other car until you start putting 100% parts into stuff that doesn't need to be changed on that other vehicle. See what we can do with the oil filter. Just double check. 74% is the lowest that we can do. Upgrade where we can. See if we can do anything in the back end here with these caps and whatnot. And the arms and the bearings back here. There we go, 69% rubber bearing. That's some pretty good condition. A pretty good number for wear and tear. We can go ahead and put this other number in our other arm back in here, 67%. So, you know, we only got a 2% upgrade, but, you know, it won't really be worth taking off the other part, but we might kind of do a bit of an investigation and kind of see what all we can scavenge from here. Check the bearings, double check, and we can get rid of any really low percentage, but we've kind of upgraded the best we can for now, I think, on the bearings, but it doesn't hurt to double check. Doesn't hurt to... Did I get the wrong thing selected here? Yeah, I'm gonna escape out of there. Doesn't hurt to make sure, because that 1%, you know. Look at that, this side was pretty good, 77%. 71. You know, it's the same as the other side, but if we can get rid of a 68, 3% better. We're getting up there. Get rid of that rubber bushing. I think it was 71 or 77. Yeah, I put the same thing back in there. This one didn't really matter. That's okay. It's okay. See that engine block from the mulch? I still have to put that in that other vehicle, but you're just in between. Or for the other video that I did. We are not tearing the engine block out of the dark green vehicle behind us. It was in the light green vehicle that was shown earlier in this video that we took the engine block out of. There we are. We got these bolts off the wheel here. We're going to get the wheel off the car and get that link off of here. And I think we're going to go ahead and try to take the sway bar off the end. Do as much damage as we can on this vehicle, right? We're going to... And the more parts that they want replaced, the more... It's kind of hard to get in here. I got to get the perfect angle, right? You know? Just so tricky. There, trying to get this bar out of here, trying to upgrade as much as we can. Gonna go right back into assemble mode, put that 10% back in there when they had 68%. No problem, overnight you lost 50%. Or this afternoon, or I guess it happened in the test drive that I never do. Yeah, must have been that. Yeah, just premature failure. Do that often. Get these 3, 4, 3, 4, 5 on there. Get all of that on there. Okay. Now we might get this other tire back onto here. Assemble mode. Let's get that link on there first because it won't let us get the tire on, but without the link. Link is a very crucial part of this tire. See, it just says original part or optional. Oh, it says optional. I guess I should actually read. Just didn't even really read it before. So I guess it does clearly indicate which tire should be on which car, because it'll tell you optional part, not original. I stand corrected. Oh well. I'm not going to waste my time re-recording over that. I made a mistake and see an optional part. We're just going to go ahead and throw this on here anyways. Gonna have a bit of fun here while we can with these tires. Get that back down just because. There we are. Clearly we have the wrong tires on there, but we're still going to have a bit of fun. See what they look like. They come back all angry. It's okay, we only did 2. Right now, if we see on the rear end of this car, we never took the car's tires off, but if you had a look there, the car's tires were completely the same as the rear end tires that I put on that other vehicle. So you got to be pretty careful about what you do there. Because it'll take, when you're doing this kind of chop behavior, it'll really affect what you can send out, and we'll see that after here, but that's okay. Just wanted to make sure that it actually let us send it out with the wrong tires. Even though it was an optional part, maybe you just needed that optional part to send out the car for a test ride. Maybe you needed that optional part to move it around to a paint bay that we're going to later unlock in the future. You know, I don't know, but oh well. Sent it out incorrectly. see now all of these garbage parts we put on here, we're probably going to have to come back later and take it apart. But ABS module, brake disc. So it looks like the rear disc has to come off maybe, because we took good discs off of here before to replace with the other vehicle. So and that's the whole issue we're going to wind up. We're going to try to put all the garbage parts onto this new vehicle here. It's not going to let us send out, but we're going to, you know, we're just still testing, right? We're still going to have a bit of fun here. We're going to, you know, we put ourselves in this predicament knowingly, but we're still knowingly going to have a bit of mayhem that we're going to do. Worst caliper back on there. Desk, pads, ABS module. Still trying to figure out where the ABS module is. Maybe somewhere under the vehicle? I don't know. Not a mechanic. I have no idea where anything is, what anything is, but we're getting ourselves by here. We're getting everything apart. And we're going to get through it together. Don't you worry. We are. Go back in, get the assemble mode back on there. I guess we have to go buy an actual brake disc. Here, double check we're in the right part. We have brake disc. Get one of those. Brake pads. Get one of those. Should have bought the caliper earlier, but whatever. Maybe it's module. I don't know. Probably get this done and then we'll do a bit of searching for that ABS module. See what kind of eggs we can crack after. See, we got that optional part, not original, optional part that we have that we can put back on the car that we're putting back on now. So, come back and got the completely wrong tires. Wouldn't that be something, mere mechanic? I'll lose all faith in that kind of person from now on. Yes. You're looking good. You're looking good. What else can I salvage? Yeah, we're going to go all out. We're going to get greedy. We're going to do the spring caps on here because I know we have a couple duds of those. I guess we only have one. Spring cap. We're going to put that spring on there. We're going to get the shock absorber cap back on there that we have a couple negative values of. Take that off, take that spring off. We're still going to take the cap off to double check that we can put the lowest percentage on there. So we gained for 4%, I believe. It's not bad. I get rid of that 23%. Perfect. See, that's where the tires are going to come in to negatively affect us, but we're going to, so I'm going to play around with it a bit. Throttle. I don't know. I don't really see anything that's dark. You know, like that rusty mud. Doesn't have its wheels. It'd be nice to put it in the center so we can look in all the doors, right? We look in all the doors and under the dash. Maybe it's under the dash, right? But the dash doesn't have any parts in here. I don't know. I haven't actually investigated under the dash. See, we're double checking that when we put all the parts on there, it's actually allowing us to put all the garbage parts in. And, you know, the whole different story is going to be allowing us to get the vehicle actually out of our shop in the same condition that it arrived in, but hey, that's part of the fun. Welcome aboard with Angry Yarns. We can get that brake disc on there, brake pads on there, and terrible condition. That caliper on there, this vehicle's definitely not going to go over the shop. Maximum destruction. Maximum destruction. That was pretty good. Yeah, we could have a look in here. Maybe it's under the dash. You know, like, I don't know. Some jobs, they gotta tear your whole entire dash apart for $10,000, so. ABS module. We're gonna light that up. You know, if you highlight that star, then it'll light up the part. Maybe it's in the back? Under something? Never done any kind of light in right there. That's it. We found it. Behind that fuel pump that we replaced. See, that fuel pump came in the way, and I wasn't looking for rusty parts around there, and oh, what was I doing? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and unbolt this. 25%, yes, you needed a new one of those for sure. Close all of this up, pretend like we didn't need to do that. We knew where the part was. ABS module, $700. The pump is $950. We only started out with $2,000, so if we had bought the wrong pump or the wrong module, the wrong part, that could have bankrupted us from the very beginning. In between any payments that we have to make. I still haven't looked up whether this game requires payment. So we're gonna see if we can get this all done. Got this all over the lifter. We're gonna maybe do I had a quick look there, and we don't have to pay any rent and whatnot. So the car won't let us leave because we have too many negative parts on there, because we made that mistake of putting the wrong wheels on here. That's okay, and everybody makes that kind of mistake in their life, and that's alright. Talk to any mechanic that I know, and they put the wrong wheels on cars before and sent them out the door. Haven't put oil in the engine, left the oil cap off, didn't even change parts, and charged you for it. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a complete tear down, complete rebuild here. We're gonna put all these parts back on here one by one, and just kind of see, you know, at what point will this vehicle let us throw it out the door? Maybe those tires weren't as bad. I didn't really double check and see. But maybe this will let us send it out the door right now. Finish the job. Car is in worse condition than it arrived. Alrighty. We'll go over to this side. I think we'll take the cap off and replace the cap on this side and see if that does the trick. Kind of sending out the door, not on this try, but on the next one. And I wanted to say thank you very much for everybody for tuning in today, and all for taking care of me. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and pop this air filter off. I hope everybody goes and drink some water and have something to eat today, and stay safe, and be sure to stay away from all of the negative things in life. Click A and take this air filter cover off. Air filter back out. I'm going to dispose that on somebody else, unfortunately. With the cover, and we're going to put this all back on here, but get these clips back on. 1, 2. Nope, doesn't like that. Don't touch me sound. 3, 4. Alright, get out the door. Slam that hood. Finish the job. Yay! Alright, everybody. Take care. Have a good day.